I'm gonna wait for a few people to get in here if they come. So we're gonna talk about what happened. um, just bear with me one moment. Hey y'all. Okay, so it's 3 people in here. So just putting a few disclaimers out there up front. If I cough a little bit, I'm getting over the flu, so please forgive me. That's number 1. 2, I'll answer all questions at the end. I just want to run through everything that happened from start to finish. And thirdly, nobody bash Chashin. Please don't do that. I really don't want that, because we don't personally have a problem with him. It's just that what happened, and it just goes down like that sometimes. So, first things first. Time. Let's talk about time. Time is the most valuable thing that every last one of us have. You can buy a better body, you can buy a brand new car, you can buy a brand new house, but the one thing that you can't get back inside of this life is time. And for me, that's what all of this equated to. So, starting from the beginning, Golden Child, and I'm going to refer to him as said person. Said person were doing a video. You guys all witnessed what was going on with that. They were approached by somebody. We'll call that person the investor. So when the investor basically came and told them that, hey, I got an idea, we can work together, blah, 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 blah. So the offer was for them to get a certain amount for recruitment. But Melvin said, no, we can do that for free. We want to learn what you guys know how to do. That's how all of this began, okay? Moving forward, they had their first meeting, and I'm going to be very, very honest about everything that happened. And I'm not going to bash him, said person, but I will tell the truth, okay? So, said person and him had a meeting. When they went into the meeting, said person had a voice recorder on him, did not let Melvin know. He recorded the conversation. And anybody that's watching this that was a part of the chat group that said person had, where he released the actual audio recording, can back up what I'm saying. Now, the thing with business is, business only works when there is full transparency between you and a partner. That's how that works. So, right there, that was just a big no-no, 1. 2, it is illegal to record people without their consent or their knowledge. So, me and Melvin just chalked it up to the person's just young. Young people do stuff. We were all there. We were all in our 20s, and we did stuff that just made 0 sense. So, no biggie. We can move right along with that, okay? So he recovered himself, though, and I will say that because he took it down. So I'm not going to sit here and say that he left it up and this happened and that didn't happen. Now, I heard the recording. And when I heard it, again, I do have a sales background. I was in the military. I've done a plethora of jobs that has kind of positioned me inside of certain ways that I know how to do what I do. So I'm listening to the recording. And at the end of it, I told him, I said, y'all don't have a deal. There is no deal here. So I told him, I said, can you call and get said person on the line so we can discuss this? So after I reviewed the call, I explained to them why they didn't have a deal. And then I consorted with my sister, who's an attorney in the state of Texas. And me and her kind of talked some things over. Then we all got on the phone, and when we discussed some things, I asked them, what are y'all okay with? What are you not okay with? Let me structure this for you guys so that way when you go back in there for your second meeting, you actually can have a dialogue with them and get some stuff done. So after we're going over everything, they were like, okay, cool, cool, cool. They told me what they wanted, this way, that way. I formulated in a way that they could go in there, and now you got a fighting chance. So during that call, they were still kind of uneasy about, when they go in there and say this and say that. So I offered my services. I asked them, I said, now I can go in there and close this for y'all if y'all want, but that's on y'all. This is y'all stuff. I can close it. Then y'all can move on into the sunset and do what you do. Both of them said, yes, we give you permission to go in here and close this. That is all I had the intentions on doing, going in there and closing this thing for them. That is it. I did not seek any partnership this way or that way. I have my own things going on here inside of my house. I run my own home-based business that I've had to close down. I have my own stuff going. So I said, okay, cool. We get there, close this thing down. Everything is great. It's a dream, okay? Now, moving forward, there were two things that were requested of them. Give me a name for your company. Figure out with the name, your structural organization. That kind of goes hand in hand. And also, I need a bank account. So, none of that happened. None of that happened. This thing was dragged out for 2 weeks. Said person kept coming back with objections. I had to keep going in there, talking to these people to tell them that this is what's holding us up, and said person isn't comfortable with XYZ. Is there something we can do about it? Everything I went in here and asked this investor for, they said okay. They said yes. There was not a problem, okay? Now, moving forward, we were invited to the investor's home. We went there. It was lovely. It was beautiful. We had a good time, sat down, spoke with him, spoke with his wife, and everything was great. At that particular meeting, that's when the investor let my husband and said person know in a sidebar that you guys know that she closed that deal for you. She's the only reason why you guys are here. This is fact. Both of them will tell you that this is what he said. Still, I'm not seeking anything. Now, moving forward, I told them, okay, I can help you guys out with your back office because you're going to need help with that. Y'all do what y'all do, because they were going to start running so that way they could make sure that the loads are there. It's one thing to tell a person, hey, come over here, we got this, we got that. But it's another one when you're actually inside of that driver's seat and it's two individuals making sure that things are running how they're supposed to do. So this is what they came up with. And then with me, I told them I'll go inside of here in the back office. I'm going to learn their system because they got a whole machine going on behind the scenes, okay? Now, mind you, this has to get dwarfed down to something that 2 people can manage, okay? So, with that being what it is, I'm going in here, I'm learning this, that. I got back to the car and I told them, I said, this is bigger than what I expected. And I told them, I said, look, I'm going to need somebody here. What I asked said person for was a number 2. Here's number 2. I am my husband's number 2. I need you to get me somebody. I don't care about qualification. I can get them where they need to be. We can knock this thing out. And then I can train somebody based on the system that I have dwarfed down to something that's manageable. And this person can either step up or whatever it is that they're going to do. Okay? Said person does not have the support system that my husband has. That has no bearing on me or my husband. And I know that sounds callous, but we're all adults, okay? Now, with that being what it is, said person was trying to figure out how much was needed to be paid to the individual that he was trying to get over there. He thought that he should give this person $1,000 a week, even though I'm working for $0, 0 cents. My husband is putting gas inside of the car, and I'm driving an hour and a half to and from this place, hour and a half each way. I'm not griping about it. I'm not belly aching about it, because ultimately this right here is for the culture of trucking. This right here is an opportunity for owner operators. That's what this is about. Okay? So he says no way he's going to be able to do it. Then he comes back and says, well, I can get somebody else and it's $300 a week for them. The way this was coming off is as if, I mean, if you get whoever you need to get, but we're not paying half of their salary. I'm not paying half of that. He's not paying half of that. We're not doing that. You got to get your number 2 in here. I got his back. Get me somebody that got your back. I don't care who it is. Doesn't matter to me. We just need the work done. Okay? Now, moving along. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm speaking slowly, because I'm trying to make sure that I put this thing in chronological order, because I don't want you guys to kind of get confused this way or that way, and I don't want to misspeak. So, when he wasn't able to do that, okay? Matter of fact, let me backtrack a little bit. How he became president. So when I was telling Melvin that we have to do organizational charts, I need to know whose duty is what, so that way when you guys go back in there, you have something to show these people. You've done some work, because you guys you're struggling trying to find a name for yourselves, and unless you have that name, unless you can get that EIN number done, bank accounts ain't really gonna happen. So y'all gonna have to figure that out, because you have to incorporate your business. We all know this. So, me and him had a discussion, and when it came down to who was president, it was this back and forth thing going on. So Melvin and I had a sidebar, and Melvin said, I don't want to reach for president, because I don't want him to feel like, you know, it's something where me and you are, you know, because I know you're going to help me out and do whatever needs to be done, but I don't want him to feel like we just coming in and we just hawking over. And I told him, I said, so you got your answer right there. You're not president. He said, I'm good with that. I said, now let's look at this and let's see how could this work. So we sat down, we brainstormed, and I'm gonna give y'all the whole tidbits of it, okay? What I had envisioned after explaining it to Melvin, I had took some time and thought about it, and I said, you know, in our community we have an issue. And the issue that we have is that the old heads, they want to stay in positions of power, and they never want to relent that power to the younger generation. So since you've already decided that you don't want it and you want to give it to him, why don't we build this brother up? Why don't we build his number 2 up? This is the great white hope. This is the success story that America is supposed to be all about. Why can't we show that in trucking? He agreed. He said, you know what? I actually like that. I said, right. We do what we need to do behind the scenes. I said, and I can just punt this ball off and y'all go rock off into the sunset, man. This is what we were trying to get done. This is what we wanted to get accomplished. Okay? So, moving forward, that was the premise for Melvin telling him he did not want that seat. Now, and I'm backtracking again, after we left out of that meeting, I kind of got thrusted into things where Melvin was like, well, can you, you know, just send that stuff over to your sister and let her manage it? Because both of y'all are actually owners of that. You would actually be a better vice president than I would be. I could work on the CFO side because I got a master's in business. And I just looked at him like, what? So he's like, no, like really, like, I mean, you're going to be here anyway. It's going to take a while for the process to go. He was like, and then we can figure it out as we go. So I said, cool. Even still, I was not seeking any percentage of anything, okay? Let's be clear about that. Now, back to that other part. When we got to the number 2. That's where I was at. His number 2. He couldn't get a number 2. So going back to my initial point about time, time is very valuable. If you can't get me a number 2, that means that we need to start negotiating. 305. Hey, long time for real. So we need to start negotiating, okay? Because if I'm going to be here from the ground up, helping you guys out, building this out, and you can't get anybody, then rightfully so, you're going to compensate me for my time, because I dictate what I do with my time. Melvin is my husband. He is not my owner. He is not my keeper. We coexist as 2 married people, and this is what works for our household. We don't really have arguments and stuff like that inside of this house. We talk about things like adults. So this is how things are ran over here, because I know a couple of people were saying that, you know, oh, I'm this monster and I'm this and I'm that. That ain't how stuff go down over here. Me and him, we talk. This is what we do. We act like grown-ups. So what we gave him were options. He only discussed one, and I'm going to run down all these options to you guys, okay? First option, you and Melvin can keep your 50%, 50%. I just need that number 2. Now, with that, because you're not going to blow smoke up my behind because I ain't stupid, I need to know the date that you're going to get your number 2 out here. I don't care if it's 30 days or 60 days. I just need an actual date. That way I can pin this down so I know what I'm working with and how much responsibility I have to take on my plate for a time. Also, I'm going to give your number 2 a 7-day grace period in the event that some type of unforeseen fatality or something happens and that person can't make it. They get 7 days to call me, not 7 days to get it handled. Just 7 days to just give me a call. Hey, you know, God forbid my granny died, or I'm in the hospital or something. Just communicate with me. That's all I was asking for. And y'all keep y'all 50%. I don't really care. Okay? That's the first offer. Second offer, 33, 33, 34%. You, said person, having 34%, therefore you are the majority shareholder or stakeholder, inside of the company. Because as everybody knows, people are in love today and they build up things, but then tomorrow they get divorced. So this is a possibility for anybody. And if I'm spending my time, yet again, I need to make sure that I am compensated for my time, because I'm here from the beginning, okay? Now, the third offer, we can't afford to pay anybody right now. For a while, we can't afford to pay anybody. So make it enticing to your number 2 that you're electing to bring up. Do 25, 25, 25, 25%. That way, we're all working for something and we all got a stake in this, okay? Next offer, 50%, 50%, we can sit down and negotiate a rate that I will invoice you for once your business is fully profitable, Once your business is fully profitable, and I'll still give you guys 6 months to figure it out, and I will be invoicing you separately. I will get your business where it needs to be, and then at that point, I will go ahead, find you a candidate that will work and do what it is that I do. Then we will negotiate my training rate. This is all negotiated. I'm not going to just throw numbers at you. We negotiate and we can all agree upon it. I will train that person. I will make sure that that person is proficient at whatever it is that they do. After that point, when I vacate the premises, if that person calls me because they can't figure it out and y'all can't help them figure it out, I'm going to bill you for my time, a 3-hour minimum, because it may take 3 hours to get this explained, or I may have to make that 1.5 hour drive to come over here and fix whatever is messed up. Now, that was the fourth option. Buffering really bad. Oh, sorry, Miss Patricia. How do I fix that? Okay. That was the fourth option. The fifth option was, and me and Melvin agreed upon this because it was his idea, or said person, you can have the company at 100%. See, everything that was offered was fair, but said person did not discuss any of these offers. They omitted a lot of information and misled a lot of folks to believe that me and him had this planned out from the jump. This isn't my shtick. It's not. I'm an artsy fartsy person. I like to create. I like to design. That's what I'm great at. But I'm also great at doing back offices. I learned from the best through the years. That's just what it is for me. So, moving right along, these were the offers that were given. So, when Melvin and myself discussed, I told him, I said, also let him know. And mind you, I didn't go to him directly. Respectfully, I told my husband, because this is you guys' thing. You go talk to him. You figure this out. But this is what I'm saying. If you guys want me on and I have to do this without any help, these are my terms. Okay? So, with that being said, I told him, and make sure that you express to him that I want him to take some time, think about it, and counter me. Give me something that I can work with. Listen, you're young. We trying to teach you. This is how business is handled. Personal is personal. Business is business. That's just what it is. And I'm going to share something with y'all. Even on down to my mom. My mom has a side business that she does as far as event planning and things like that. Anything that she gets from me and my sisters, she taught us how to invoice. And she told us, you invoice me for services because I am utilizing your time. I know you want to help mommy out, but this is me teaching you how to make sure that you're doing good business. Okay? So, gave him those offers. What he countered me with was, no, you take 25%, Melvin takes 25%, I keep my 50%, and that's that. I said, that's a no-go. Now, see, I would have been messed up if I would have said, you know what, y'all figure it out. But still didn't do that. I told Melvin, here's what you guys need to do. The two of you need to go to the investor and y'all need to talk this thing out with him and get advice from him. I don't want to be present on the call. I don't need to be there because, again, this is the two of you figuring out, does it even make sense for me to be cut in any way or paid in any type of way or capacity? So when that call was made, the investor got to the second point and just told him, you don't have to read any more of these counters off to me. She's absolutely right. Because see, if you got anybody in here to actually do this, you would probably be looking at somewheres in the figure of about $250,000, $250,000 to get somebody to come in here and do what it is that she's willing to do just for equity inside of the company. This is what this man told them, both of them, okay? So at that point, said person sent a text message out and said, congratulations, you got it all to yourself. I don't want it. That is what happened. Now, the crazy part about all of this, I don't know why, because we were calling him after that point. Then the investor was making sure to call him after that point because we were trying to salvage this. So, like I told Melvin, I said, now here's what's fair. Everybody that signed up under the Magnum Logistics Trucking at gmail.com email, what we can do is the percentage that the two of you are getting while in training that was negotiated, we can take that, give him full access to a ledger of who all is running under there, be fully transparent with him, allow that money to season until the 15th of December, 2019. And then give him his half So that way it can never be said that somebody robbed him of anything. This was sent over to him, okay? Now, with that, I had one caveat. The only thing that I'm asking is, please don't go and make these videos like you do, trying to say this or that. Allow us the opportunity to give these people that have spent their time and sent these emails, give them a call and let them know that this is what has occurred. Not bashing him, but he's elected to step down. Do you still want to move forward with the actual process of what is going on here? That was my only caveat, to ensure that we still took care of this brother at the end of the year, okay? Now, what occurred was he took to Facebook. He put the post out there saying that I'm sorry for wasting y'all's time and money because this isn't moving forward. That's not what was happening. So it's kind of that thing that my mom always says about spiting your nose and biting your face or something like that. Y'all know what I'm saying. I always get it mixed up. But you're so mad about the fact that how dare I tell you that because you don't have, thank you, Alex, because you don't have a number 2, that I'm not supposed to be compensated for my time? Like, what universe is that work in, number 1? And then number 2, outside of what universe is that work in, like cutting your nose off to spite. There it is. Cutting your nose off to spite your face. Okay. Hopefully I can remember that because I've been hearing it for years and I just can't. But I am his wife. I have a duty to my husband. I ain't got no duty to nobody else outside of that. I can help you. Hey, I can help you, but that's as far as that can go. But I'm not going to sit here and basically neglect my household. You're late quick. Okay, so basically we're just talking about the situation that everybody's been pretty much bashing Melvin about because they got one side of the story. But like I was saying, I'm somebody else's wife. You can't rightfully ask for me to sit here and basically pick up your slack and not be compensated for you. At the end of the day, you know, I'm beholden to him, not to you or anybody else. If I choose to do something, it's out of the kindness of my heart. That's as far as that goes. But again, business hat, here. Personal hat, here. Those two should never be mixed, because this is what happens when you don't understand those principles inside of business. That's at the ground floor. Handle your business and don't tear up your personal side and don't take things personal. I was only asking for something that rightfully so I should ask for when you don't have the support system that my husband has. So that's the nuts and bolts of it. And that's pretty much it. So now I guess I'm going to take questions, guys. Anybody got questions for me? What up, GC? She put it down. I prejudged as well, and this really didn't seem like GC character nor you. Keep pushing, my G. Well, thank you. And that's the other thing too. The reason why he didn't say anything is because, like I was explaining to him, yeah, they're gonna come down on you, but the truth of the matter is the problem was never with you. The issue was with me. So as two individuals coexisting inside of this marriage, you can't answer for me. This isn't the 1940s. I don't need you to answer for me, but I did feel kind of disrespected for my husband that a lot of people were trying to take things out on him as if he did something wrong and, you know, coming at me and trying to assassinate my character and not even, you know, just taking the time to just sit back and just wait. Just wait a second. He was upset, but that's the thing. He's young, he's impetuous, and we've all been there. I'm almost 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? I don't look like it because of the lighting, but I'm almost 40. When I was in my 20s, I used to do some silly stuff. And that's really what I just chalked it up to. He made a rash decision. It happens. It can happen, but it's a teachable moment. When it comes down to business, you have to negotiate. Don't look at what's in front of you. Look at where you're trying to get to. And you can't brunt everything on your back when you don't have the skill set to do it. So if a person does have what you need, talk to him. And little does he know, I would have taken 20% with provisions. You see what I'm saying? All I wanted him to do was stand up and man up. Counter me with something that makes sense. Didn't matter one way or the other. I'm going to always make sure I take care of my husband, period. Anybody got any more questions? Nope. I don't know if this thing is working. Well, I guess y'all don't have any questions. I thank you for, wise man told me family is family, friends is friends, business is business. Absolutely. My daddy says that. That's where I come from with the hat this way, hat that way. Thanks for your integrity. Thank you. Thank you for watching. But like I said, I didn't want to bash him because he's still young. Y'all know how it is. He's still young. Ain't no point to what we gonna bash him for. So that way it just makes it a little bit harder for him. Yeah, I already told them that you offered it at 100%. I explained that earlier, but you just came in a little late. But it's no point to bashing him because all that does is we can't get anywhere by sitting up here and having these petty grievances, by sitting here and get into the, the drama of it all and the this and the that. I don't have time for that foolishness, man. I'm sitting over here trying to figure it out just like everybody else. And ultimately, I thought that a lot of the people that were on YouTube were here to share content. I thought they were here to share their point of view and leave something behind when that time comes for all of us, when it's time to go. Leave something behind for the generations that come from, behind us. You're right, not trying to tear another brother down. Exactly. We can't tear each other down because at the end of the day, it's you guys as owner operators, and I'm going to always root for the underdog. That's why with this whole venture, I thought it was great because he's young. You know what I'm saying? And if he tells the truth about a conversation that he and I had with Melvin in the car, and I told him, I said, this is going to be perfect because with these kinds of businesses, if done right, when our son, because I have a stepson with Melvin, when he comes along, I love your spirit of uplifting versus tear down. Thank you. Hey, girl. Ain't seen you in a long time. But when he comes along, we want to make sure that we've put everything that we have into you so we know that the tutelage is there. We know that it's there, so he's being trained properly. And we don't want him to just jump to no front of no line. We want him to start at the bottom. He's going to have to work for this. The same way that we're sitting here putting down roots and working for this, he needs to work for that. And we hope that you do the same with your children. This was the vision to begin with. This was the vision. But things get messed up when egos come in the room. And that's the thing, like, you start to understand stuff when you get a little bit older. There is no place for ego when it comes down to business. Stuff needs to be done. It has to be handled. Point blank, period. That's it. So that's my spiel on it. I think my phone is probably going to die on y'all. But anybody else got any more questions or anything to say, anything to add to the conversation? If you can't think of it right now, I'm sure you're going to put it down inside of the comments. But everything I said on this video, and I'm going to leave it up, I will not be taking this down. I stand by it, in front of it, behind it, on the side of it, because that is what happened. That's what happened. And it's one of those things where, the part that just kind of just threw me was just the omission of facts. Just that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Miss Patricia. Just the omission of facts, and even with the when he did his post, I went on there for the people that saw inside of the thread, and I told him, I said, hey, if you're gonna tell it, tell the whole story in its entirety. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I can accept the truth, even if I'm culpable for whatever it is that has occurred. But what I won't do is I won't sit here with a lie. So how's it been going so far anyway? Well, it has been great. We've been meeting some really, really awesome people. For one, that we work with as well, but that's been coming on to the project. And they're all pretty much happy. We've had a couple of like little, things here and there, but it's just growing pains in the beginning. And I am pleased to say every orientation we have had a bootay in the seat. Or a couple of them rather. But it's been good. We got a good family vibe going, and Melvin does wellness calls. I do them as well. I talk to the owner operators, and like I said, I'm just trying to build a vibe there where they're supported, because coming into the oil field, what I've realized is it's kind of like when you're in the military and you're on a deployment, or when you're stationed overseas. Like me, I was stationed in Okinawa for 3 years. So that was 3 years where it was kind of hard, where I missed a couple things. Oh, you're talking, Miss Patricia. Where I missed a couple things, like with families and this and that. So the biggest thing is just trying to do something different where we're actually creating community. So for me, I'm a people person. So it's a couple of things that I'm trying to, just put in place. And once we're fully stood up, it's going to be something. It is really going to be something. And I think that people, they're going to be really receptive to it, because it's not going to be anything that any company has ever offered any of y'all before. So I'm happy about it. I think the best part about it is, like I said, the people. I love people, So is the email still the same? No, the Magnum Logistics Trucking, I have closed that down. I've cleared it out, closed it down. But the one that we're using now is the petersonpathways@gmail.com. That email, I'm checking it, so it's going to get checked. We ain't leaving that to Melvin, because that was everybody complaint with him. Man, I ain't throwing you under the bus and putting the drip pan on the top of your head, where you know what it is. But yeah, but it's really cool. And like I said, I didn't have any intention on being a part of it anyway, but now that I'm here, I'm actually glad. And like I said, with the people inside of the office, like, they are friendly, they have been helpful. Like, it's mind-blowing that you actually have good people that are out here that are willing to help, as a way of giving back, because you don't see that a lot, especially with people that are already, they're doing, when you see people that are already, they're doing their thing. They don't need to help us, but they're choosing to help us because they're good people. So that's the blessed part for me. And I don't know, I'm happy about it. So, but I'm gonna my next video will be, I think I'm gonna entitle it Owner Operator to Oil Field. That way I can really, you still getting your CDL? I would like to, but that video I'm gonna do, once I explain to y'all like what goes on behind the scenes, I don't know that I'm gonna have the time straight way. But once we get the whole back office set up and the business is fully stood up, I think I might go ahead and go do it. Why not? I'm adventurous. So yeah, but that's the main thing. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, but like I said, that's what happened inside of a nutshell. No, we don't hate him. I actually think that once he starts to grow a little bit more and really understands what's going on around him, I think that boy is gonna be something special. But he just got to get through his growing pains. So, but like I said, me and Melvin, we not mad with him. He made a decision for himself. Is your lawyer sister married? Actually, she's single. Well, what you heard about my sister? Let me find out, Mr. Bones. But yeah, I think he's gonna be great. I think he's gonna be great at whatever it is that he puts his mind to, but he just has to remain focused and he can't get caught up inside of the petty gripes and the nonsense. If he ever watches this video and watches it all the way to the end, I want him to know that, like, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be super great, but it's a couple things that you're gonna have to tweak about yourself. And there's nothing wrong because everybody got their vices, everybody got their stuff with them. It is what it is. This is what it's about when it comes down to life. Growth. Growth is the most important thing. And once you start growing and you leveling up and you just kind of you moving inside the right direction, a lot of things will open up. And when those things open up, can't nobody stop you because you're going to be that freight train. So hopefully if he does see this, I want him to know that, like, sincerely, for real. But that's all, y'all. I'm out. I got to go to bed because I think the time is changing tonight. And I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Oh, Lord. Tell her I'm the platinum. You a whole mess, platinum child. I'll let her know now. See what she talking about. She not in this part of Texas, though. She a little further south Texas. I'll let her know. You might end up being my old brother-in-law. What's happening, brother-in-law, Bo? So good night, y'all. Thank you for watching. Like I said, I'm going to just go ahead and just leave the video up. So I hope this satisfies everybody's need to know what happened. This is what happened. And just do me a favor. Nobody say anything negative to Chasen. Don't go over there bashing him. Just, it is what it is. It's just, stuff just happens. But please don't do that. I'm begging you not to do that to him. I don't want that. That's not right, and we're not going to do that. We're going to be better than that, right? So, peace out, y'all. Oi. I know y'all laughing at me.